Hiya, it's Goblin's Henchman here. So, rather bizarrely, last night I had a dream about making a Excel hex crawler. Now, I don't normally, as a general rule, have dreams about RPGs, but last night was a bit bizarre. Anyway, so today I had a 10-hour round-trip journey on a train for a 1-hour meeting, so I started tinkering with this notion. And this is what I came up with, and actually it turned out a lot better than I actually expected. Now, it's not the most brilliant thing in the world, but I think it's an interesting little tool that people might find handy. So, of course, it's Excel, which means it doesn't do hexes. So if you love your hexes, this is probably, this might not be for you, but bear with me, give it a chance. So since there's no hexes, they're just squares, I'm calling it an Hex Crawl, as in Excel, rather than a Hex Crawl. Anyway, so how does it work? So what I've got is a little button here. You press that, and it generates a different map. And over here we have the legends. We've got deep water, shallow water, coastal, lowlands, woodlands, wooded highlands, and mountains. Of course, you could change these to anything you want. And in fact, use conditional formatting, so you could change the colours if you like. Now, that in of itself I thought would be kind of neat, but what I thought would be better is if you had some degree of customization. So what I put in here is a global setting where you can change it. So if we put this to 6, it's kind of a bit like erosion. The sort of land becomes sort of more low-lying. You get fewer mountains and more water. So I'm just going to put that back to 7. And as a further customization, I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if you could do some local variation? So if I put in, say, 0 here, replace the default 7, you see I can just take a big bite and make it a bit of an ocean. And let's say, actually, I wanted 2 islands. I could maybe make that 1, maybe? Yeah, with some sort of swampy bits joining it up, and maybe in this corner here I could make some high ground, so some mountains and hills. So you can see you can generate a reasonable kind of variation in your hex crawl, so there's a bit of flexibility there. Now, the other thing I did was thought, well, you need a random encounter generator. So this is not very interesting. So in your, say you were in this square here, and you moved onto the beach, let's refresh this column here. You can see you've generated an encounter 16C, which doesn't mean anything. Well, I've done that on purpose because the encounters are listed here for this 1 through 16, and what your homework to do is to replace these with the encounters you want to see. So they can be goblins and trolls and whatever else you want. It's probably, well, we can refresh this a lot. We're not going to get one of those in a hurry, but we might, I guess. Yeah, I should have probably done more. Well, I guess the other thing about this encounter table is if I, for example, just remove some of them, we will probably get a troll now or a goblin. Come on, there you go, goblins, see? And the other thing I did was I thought, wouldn't it be nice if you could put something else happening in the hex? So this is, again, for you to put in here if you want to, put your own notable encounters. So we can put, say, a village, or we can put maybe a hanging tree, well, something. Again, let's regenerate it. So goblin village or troll's hanging tree. And finally, this was part of a discussion I had on Google Plus. Who was it? Gosh, I feel a bit ashamed. I can't remember now. I'll have a look it up in just a sec. But the idea is what's happening in the hex and where. So what I thought, if you hit refresh, so the red one could be the monster, which shows you where they're located in the hex when you enter it. And this one might be where the notable feature is, like the hanging tree. So that thought was a nice little thing. So again, you can refresh it and get different encounters. So and different placements. So that's basically it. It's not a genius tool, but it's a hex crawl that is very customizable in terms of the big map, and very customizable in terms of encounters you can generate. So give it a go, let me know, and